Welcome back to Common Criminal Podcast. I am your host, Vince Polson. Well, guys, sorry about the last couple days. I like to think I delivered some pretty quality material. Having Brandon on the show, that was a huge boost. I'm going to be perfectly honest. That was like the first one I was really, really excited to post. And being painfully honest with you guys, I'm not even excited about this one. Nope. I feel really bad about it, but yeah, I think having a guest on the show absolutely it brings the energy level up. I think it makes it a little bit funnier. It keeps it a little lighter. And Brandon and I were able to share some sentimental stories, which I thought was was in keeping with with what I wanted the show to be, in its inception. So yeah, I hate to say it, guys, but the school year's starting. So I've got, some scheduling conflicts. I don't know if I'm going to do these by myself anymore. I'm sure nobody minds. So yeah, I have reached out to a couple friends of mine who previously said that they expressed interest in being on the show. So I reached out to them and said, "Hey, gave that a shot for the first time, and yeah, it's way better." So I think we're just doing that from now on. So, having said that, I've got a couple guests lined up for the next couple few episodes, but and I'm also gonna do my best to stay away from the politics stuff too much. I know Brandon and I got into it a little bit, which frankly I don't mind. I don't mind listening to me talk about my politics, but I know not everybody feels that way. That there's plenty of that shit already floating around. You got Tucker Carlson on TV, and you got Bill Maher, on CNN and online talking about we need another recession. Elitist bastard. Doesn't hurt him if we have another recession. But see, there I go talking about politics again. I didn't mean to do that to you guys. I'm really sorry. So we're just gonna stay away from it. We'll probably touch on it. Let's be honest. It comes up a lot in this day and age, but we'll keep it light. Talk to a buddy of mine. He's entrenched in the Richmond restaurant scene. We're gonna be talking about some of the best spots in Richmond, some of the Style Weekly's biggest, but also we'll talk about some of the hidden favorites, maybe some places you never heard of, because they're that good that we're actually afraid to talk about them. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about some things, some restaurants, maybe some of the local music in Richmond, or even up here in Harrisonburg. I think that'll keep it light, and it'll make for something that we can all enjoy without getting all tense, And I think that that's just a better direction for the show in general. So, I just wanted to let y'all know, I think that's where we're going. So I don't think I'll be able to upload an episode every single day unless unless somehow so many people start listening to this that I can just make it a full-time job. But quite frankly, I got school, and I need some green pictures of dead presidents to pay for where I live, my food, my gas, that kind of thing. So I just saying, in terms of consistency of content, I'll do my best to still do a couple episodes a week, but I'm not gonna do that and sacrifice the quality of the show. But yeah, I just think that there's a lot of great stuff out here. There's so many great podcasts you can listen to, especially if you love politics, like Dan Crenshaw going on Rogan, or literally every day you can listen to Tim Pool if you want a slightly left of center political leaning. Myself, I'm definitely moderate, probably right leaning moderate in general. But I'm not an expert. I didn't go to school for any of this shit, and I'm sure as soon as I start talking about it, or cursing like a moron, I'm sure that it's pretty apparent that that I'm not somebody you necessarily want to get your news sources from. But for the sake of humor, we do have a few articles for you today. I like to call it yesterday's news. That's right. We'll be bringing old news articles to your attention for the sake of just me proving that this is not a space that I need to be into. So for instance, one of the major headlines I've seen from literally 2 months ago is that Ethiopia vowed to plant over 1 million trees to preserve the country's green legacy. And I just think that this is great. It's really a great thing for Ethiopia, because what their legacy definitely was not going to be was, being a first world country. So I think it's excellent that they've decided to go the other way with it and say, to hell with investing money in infrastructure. Forget about easily usable, accessible roads or even water in some areas. No. We're going for the civilization culture win by planting a tree. Oh, what's that? What's that? It's been informed to me by some of my nerdier friends. The culture win in civilization has nothing to do with planting trees. So, in fact, I have no idea what Ethiopia is doing other than just trying to get some policy points, so that way they can continue to receive federal aid left over from like the Marshall Plan. Which, by the way, the guy who wrote the Marshall Plan after World War II to prevent the spread of communism, that America should give money to these at-risk nations. Did you know that guy wasn't even fucking American? He was a British policymaker. Right, wrote a policy. America should give money, trillions of dollars all over the world indefinitely to prevent the spread of communism. Wasn't even an American. I've got an idea of how to fix the problems on the planet. We'll stop spending money, and how about the European Union takes care of it for a fucking change? Yeah, we'll just pull all of our troops out of NATO. We'll let them be the world police for a little while, so that way we don't have to deal with it. Boom. Debt crisis solved. We can finally bring that debt ceiling back down. I did it. And you know what else I did? I got myself worked up over something that y'all don't even give a shit about anyway. So for that, I apologize. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, another, here we go. News and technology. This one's actually from yesteryear. The machine learning bias. That's right, in automation, that is a field I actually know a few things about. That's what I'm going to school for right now. So by that, what I mean is I've done some reading, which anybody is able to do online, and I have actually no experience in the field. So I'm just going to go ahead and shove my opinion down your throat, since that's what political reporters do anyway. So the machine learning bias is a concept that algorithms that they are programs that learn from from essentially the output. So they take in the information, they calculate it, and then they use the output to retrain the actual equation itself. It's used in, say, traffic light cams, or in the case of New Jersey, they used it to put traffic cameras up. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever driven through the New Jersey Turnpike, but pretty much the pace of the speed limit, though the speed limit's like 70 or 75, just like it is here, it's you pretty much have to drive like 80, 90 miles an hour to avoid getting rear-ended. And this has been a huge problem on the New Jersey Turnpike. It's pretty stereotypical that New Jersey drivers drive fast, and it's because of the New Jersey Turnpike. So, to prevent having to spend hours and hours, I mean, we're talking thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of payroll dollars for police to patrol the highway and catch these people speeding, they actually put up traffic cameras to just automatically ticket people, which I've been saying for years. Now, I understand more people die in traffic accidents than people that get murdered, but it doesn't take a lot of critical thinking to keep people from driving so fast. It does take a lot of critical thinking to solve a murder. So I think we should just get those cops off of the highways, Those people, what they're doing is dangerous, but they're not dangerous people. We don't really need that many police officers out there. All they do is stop people with broken taillights and arrest them for resisting arrest. So I don't really see the point in them wasting their time out there when they can go actually stop real crimes against people that don't pay taxes. Oh, there I go again. So they put up these traffic cameras in New Jersey. So they put up the traffic cameras, and there was actually a huge problem that the traffic cameras, after they were placed, after 1 month, the state of New Jersey realized that the traffic cameras were racist. That's right. The traffic cameras were racist. They were only writing tickets to African Americans. The machine that automatically clocks and records the car speeding and automatically issues the ticket to the registered owner of the car. They were only issuing tickets to African Americans. Incredible. New Jersey opted, because of this racist traffic camera problem, to flush the millions of dollars they spent on those cameras down the toilet and take the cameras down. You have any idea how incredibly crazy this is? Now, this was the first time I heard about machine learning bias. This was before I started going to school. Now, learning about algorithms, reading a lot of popular science magazine, things like that, these algorithms are everywhere. They try and use them for so many things. DMV, court system. I think I want to say it was in Chicago, they were actually using it to determine who would and wouldn't make parole out of the prison system, just to try and alleviate the cost. Because, I mean, payroll is expensive. If you have a government job and you look at your check at the end of 2 weeks, that, $1,500, $2,000, whatever it is, that, I mean, they are government employees. It's probably like $1,500, but it takes 10 people to do that job. That's 15 grand. And then on top of that, if you can have a computer system that does the job better, that's money saved. Those programs pay for themselves after a while. Now, the problem is, because these algorithms, I guess, are, they say that this contributes to the institutional racism problem. Now, granted, as far as the court system goes, I 100% understand the argument of institutional systematic racism, that if you're teaching the algorithm using the data that was, I guess, culminated through the actions of maybe accidentally racist judges, juries, all of that, I can see why you might need to program against a bias in certain instances. With the traffic cameras, absolutely not. The car's driving 10 miles, 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. You issue them a ticket. We don't need to program against bias in that. It is what it is. Alternatively, the court system, I would love if somebody could please write in a nuanced argument for me so that I can explain that side of this issue without sounding like a jackass. But my main fear when we talk about programming against machine learning bias is that it's not, we divide these things on race lines as if it's all about the color of your skin, and it's not. This institutional bias does not strictly fall along racial lines. It falls along income lines. It's designed to fuck over poor people. And that's regardless of the color of your skin or whether you're an immigrant or a citizen. These laws that we try and make to counteract this bias, whether it's machine learning or whether it's just our infrastructure in general, when we try and make more and more and more laws to combat against bias, and we make these laws on racial lines, even though the bias is happening along an income line, the only thing that we're fixing is we're just making sure that poor white people, ultimately, the goal of these, if we continue in the path we're going, it's going to be poor or very low income white people are going to be left in the margins. It's not going to fix things. All right. So This was yesterday's news. Wow, got really, really heavy there. So yeah, I just think I think that those are some things to think about. Like I said, and I'm being as genuine as possible. I'm not an expert really on much of anything. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I realize that, I don't know of anything I know better than anyone else. So yeah, write in if, especially if this is something you're passionate about and you think I'm a flaming jackass and I'm totally wrong. God, write in. I'll read the whole thing. Actually, fuck that. I've got a little bit of I got some software. I can do remote recording. I can have you on the show. You don't even have to get out of your pajamas. You can record with your laptop microphone. Literally all you need is a pair of headphones, and I will have you on the show. You can just berate me and assault my character verbally, and then come on here and explain why it's wrong. There you go. Yeah, that's the best offer I got for you. Because I'd really, really love for somebody to explain it to me. So yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, anybody else who wants to be on the show, whether you're an expert in the hottest bands or the hottest restaurants in Richmond, or an expert on I don't know, political, economical issues, would love to hear about it. But yeah, anyway, thanks so much, guys, and like I said, I'll have some guests on the next episode, so stay tuned. And lastly, here's some more music by Keenan Rayner. The song is Cool Side Cool.